now on Islam Channel, Living the Life.
Living the life. Living the life. Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Living the Life. My name is Sadia Sajid.
And I am Asif Malik, and we thank you once again for joining us on another exciting episode of Living the Life. How are you, sis? You all right?
Alhamdulillah. I'm good, thank you.
Mashallah.
How are you?
I'm very, very good. In fact, looking at yesterday's episode, actually, I played it back as well.
Yeah.
What really makes this is the guests that we have on our show, mashallah. They come from such a variety of backgrounds as well.
Yeah.
And listening to their stories, they are so, so inspirational, which is really good to hear. Yeah, really good to hear.
Good, alhamdulillah. And we're here, it's Thursday, the final show for the week. And I'm sure that it'll be equally inspirational now. Talking of inspiration, we're going to go to our insight of the week. The first insight, as we know, is always about motivating us, inspiring us, and helping us to reflect on our lives. So, Asif,
Right,
Asif Bayi, what is the insight?
Right, the insight of the day is, how do you deal with failure that determines how you achieve success? And that quote comes from a very famous golfer called David Flaherty.
Okay.
So, very interesting.
What do you think? What's your take on that? What do you reflect on that?
Well, he's actually reflecting on his own story. He tackled gamblism, he tackled alcoholism, then his son died in a car crash, then he had broken ribs in his own car crash. But above all that, he succeeded in his sport by staying focused as well and being determined as well. So, you know, smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, tight. Gosh, I sound like Azzy Asnam, don't I?
He's our resident coach for today, inshallah.
Yeah, mashallah, no. But alhamdulillah, really, really good. And it's about life anyway. It's having a positive outlook on life and making sure that we wake up with a smile and what's meant to be is meant to be.
Definitely. And going on that, actually, we're in the month of Muharram. Today is the 5th of September, which is the 6th of Muharram, 1441, which according to the Islamic calendar means that this is the start of the new year. Our calendar obviously differs from the Gregorian calendar in that we have a lunar calendar, and that means that our holidays will shift slightly from one year to another. And of course, that means that we're into a new year. How do you feel about that, Asif?
I feel very good as well. And with that shift as well, am I right in saying it's between 10 to 11 days?
I believe
each
so.
year it changes, is that right? Alhamdulillah. But I'm sure our guest who's coming on will certainly talk to us a bit more. But alhamdulillah, as with every new year, you have New Year resolutions as well. So our New Year resolution is to be steadfast, to be patient, to do what's good unto others as well, to look after my presenters. But indeed, Sadia, we are very pleased to present tonight a very, very talented guest. She's been studying and voluntarily teaching Islam in a few languages since 2003 in madrasas, Islamic schools and community centres, mashallah. Please welcome Ustada Sidra Naeem.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
And how was your journey in?
It was fine.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
It's good. Well, thank you for joining us, as always.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
And you've done, mashallah, amazing things. You've done some amazing things in this, very large period. We were actually talking off air earlier, and you were telling us the many, many things that you've done. But let's begin with Muharram and the month of Muharram, inshallah,
Yes.
for our viewers who are watching right now, who are maybe asking, what does Muharram actually mean, and what's the significance of it for us as Muslims? Please tell us.
Yes. Well, the word Muharram actually, if you look, take off the prefix mu, it's haram. Haram means forbidden. So it's one of the forbidden months, which means that was one of the holiest 4 months, which Allah had actually made those 4 months holy before the world was even made. And it's called a forbidden month because He forbids fighting in there. So it's very interesting. Out of the 4 most holiest months, Muharram is the last one. So the first 3 are Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. And Muharram is actually the most holiest out of those 4. And it's actually called the month of Allah. And, there are so many things in there. For example, fasting was actually obligatory in Muharram before Ramadan was actually came around. So in the first year of Islam, it was actually obligatory to fast in Muharram. So it's a very, very holy month out of the 4. And it is that month in which Umar al-Khattab actually decided to start the Islamic calendar from. It was after Prophet Muhammad passed away that the Islamic calendar had to be established, because important dates had started to come up, and they needed to establish a calendar, and they started the year from that month because of so many reasons. And one of the reasons is it comes after Dhul Hijjah, and after Hajj you become a newborn baby, and when you're a newborn baby it's like starting a new life. So that's when Muharram was decided upon, after Dhul Hijjah. But also the Hijrah started in Muharram. The Hijrah is a very important landmark in Islamic history, because Islam actually started after the Hijrah. It's when Prophet Muhammad moved to Yathrib, which is now Medina, that Islam really started. So
there was an important date as well, wasn't it, in Muharram? There was a special event that took place in that month as well.
Yes, there was. So basically it was already a holy month before the world was made. But what's interesting is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain interesting events happen in that month. So one great event that happened on the 10th of Muharram, Ashura, which is Ashura means 10, is that Musa alayhi salam actually split the sea in half and saved everybody from Pharaoh, evil Pharaoh. That was one of the things. And the other event that's mentioned in the hadiths is that Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, his ark actually landed on Mount Judi that day as well. So it's very, very interesting. The other one is Imam Hussein. His martyrdom happened on the 10th of Muharram. That is actually a little bit of a coincidence, but obviously Allah chose that to happen on that day as well. But the main reason why we fast is because of Musa alayhi salam. He saved all the nations from, you know, the big, you know, what was happening with the, you know, by splitting the sea in half.
Inshallah.
Yeah, and so of course there's this, we have to fast the 10th and also either the day before or the day after, right?
Yes, that's something which Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. He said we have to distinguish ourselves from the Jewish fast, and we should either do the day before, the 9th and the 10th, or the day after the 10th and the 11th, so 2 days. And he actually preferred the 9th and the 10th, he mentioned that. Unfortunately, he passed away before he could actually show us. So what happened was he said that if I live for another year, I will fast on the 9th and the 10th, and I will, you know, this is to show everybody how to do it. But unfortunately, he passed away before he could show us. So many people, they do 9th and 10th, and many people, they do 10th and 11th. It doesn't really matter as long as we do the two.
Now, Sister Sidra, in the introduction as well, mashallah, you spent so many years, alhamdulillah, doing voluntary services and teaching and conveying Islam in madrasas and schools as well. But you've been rewarded by a very special person as well because of your services, haven't you? Can you enlighten us and also the viewers at home what that was?
Yes, I became the Queen's representative recently for Essex. And that was actually a very, very privileged award for me. First time for Muslim and first time for Muslim women as well. So it's something very, very good because the Queen...
What does that exactly mean then, the Queen's representative?
What it means is that the Queen, she doesn't have enough manpower to get around the country to do all her duties. So what she does is she allocates people who can do the job for her in different areas. So things like cutting ribbons, opening up events, giving public speeches. And what she is actually Church of England, and for her to allocate a Muslim person is something, you know, really, really
very
good.
Unique, very special as well, mashallah.
And it is because of all the work that I have been doing within the non-Muslim community. So I have never distinguished really between Muslims and non-Muslims. I've gone out and I've helped non-Muslims in so many different ways, completely voluntarily. So, for example, I've trained Essex Police for Islamic courses. I have done Islamic courses, training within airports, huge events, really big conferences and things. And that's actually helped England. And it's things like that that the Queen recognised, really. And then this only happened, I think it's been about 2 months now.
MashaAllah. That's brilliant. That's really, really good. Women empowerment, alhamdulillah, as well. And so important as well, because obviously, to speak over Saudi, the empowerment, interfaith is such an important thing as well. It brings communities together.
It is very, very important, and especially in England, where we are living in a multi-faith world, it is so important that we go out and we actually dispel the myths that are around, you know, accelerating Islamophobia. And to ignore that is not a good thing, because the media is there and there's all sorts happening. It's our duty, actually, it's our mission to go out there and to dispel the myths and to promote peace and harmony amongst everybody. You know, being born and brought up in this country as well, I feel very strongly about that. And it's no good making our own communities and building a wall around ourselves and not mixing with anybody, because at the end of the day, we all have to work. We work in multicultural environments. We go to university in multicultural environments. And it's very important, really, to understand other people, but also to tell them about us as well.
And you're perfectly positioned to do that now, inshallah. Have you got any planned ceremonies coming up shortly where you're going to have to take on that mantle of being the Queen's representative?
Yes, I've got 3 coming up. I've done 1 already.
Cutting ribbons.
The Queen's busy, you know.
Yes, very big ones, actually.
Yes.
They're not just normal events. They're actually events that a Queen would actually be invited to. So one of them is actually a tea party, and it's to raise money for charity, and I'm doing a speech there. That one is coming up. The other one is to do with mental health, which the Queen is really into mental health. In fact, the Queen is an ambassador for mental health. When I met her, that was one of the things that she really liked. And I do lots and lots of work for mental health charities. So this one is actually to promote a mental health charity. So that's actually coming up next week as well. And then the other one, there's a cricket match between Chelmsford Cathedral and Chelmsford Mosque. And I've been invited there to go as the Queen's representative. So that's another very big interfaith event.
Of course, yeah, mashallah, amazing stuff.
Absolutely,
You're doing some fantastic things.
Sister Sadia, I mean, mashallah, the amazing work that you're doing as well. Please do keep it up as well, alhamdulillah. We wish you the best of luck. We wish you the best of luck for your up-and-coming events as well.
Inshallah.
And inshallah, look forward to going online, checking your YouTube channel and seeing the great work you're doing as well. Jazakallah khair, thank you for coming.
Jazakallah khair, jazakallah khair. We are off on a very quick break right now.